All right, we should be getting a signal from the Bat Cave. Let me check here. Okay, we are good. All right, just checking a few things. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Jedi Academy. The stream we do every Saturday at this time with you awesome and amazing people. Just checking a couple things. Of course, Windows did an update, so I'm just making sure all the sound is good, which it looks like it is good. And I'm just checking a couple other things, make sure everything's working as intended because it updated everything. And of course, when it does that, it resets all my sound settings, things of that nature. So I'm like, well, Christ. Here we go again. uh all right. All right, let's respond to somebody in Discord. All right, let's get this party started. Welcome to the Jedi Academy, the string where we hang out with you awesome and amazing folks. And we are here to do nothing but answer your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. I'm your man, Ranger J 1999, and this is a show where we bring panelists on from the content creator world and other places, and they'll come here when they get here. I always leave it open for any of the content creators to come on here. So as soon as we'll see who pops in. We're going to answer your questions about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes in the next 2 hours. So it's pretty simple on how this works. Come on in. The water's fine. Say hi. Get your greeting in the chat. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. But this is a Q&A show. And the way it works is if you have questions related to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, all you got to do is put your question into the chat. However, because YouTube's a little wonky, excuse me, it's a little wonky, you have to do it in a certain way. So make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. That's how this works. So if you don't do that, I'm not going to catch your question most likely, or YouTube may not even put it in there. They're being really strange lately on trying to scoop up questions. So, and if you put your question in and it didn't get answered, I mean, strange stuff has been happening, but feel free to put it in there again if you think that I missed it, or if I don't get your question, that's okay too. I don't mind that. I mean, don't spam it, but I mean, just keep us honest here. You know, YouTube can be a little strange with this stuff. So yeah, question, the word question, space, and then whatever you want to write, comment and or question that you want us to read and answer for you. That's how this works, and we'll get you squared away. Good morning to everybody here on a Saturday morning. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Let me just see here real quick. All right, so I wanted to Paul from the Escape Pod Cast, and of course you can check me over on the Escape Podcast on Thursdays with the Nev as we do the GA Center, but they also have their weekly show on Fridays. He's started a petition. He wants to try to get Hondo in the game. You gotta love him for doing so. So if you'd like to see sign the petition, he asked if I would pop that in for everybody to go check out and sign the petition. Yeah, go sign the petition. If you love Hondo, go for it. Go sign the petition. And of course, Paul's working as he always is. I don't think the man doesn't stop working. And he would appreciate if you want Hondo in the game, then go sign the petition. That's always welcome. Now, for the rest of the day, I'm just going to tell you guys I'm exhausted. I am beat down. I am sore as hell. I could barely hold my alcohol last night. For the last couple of days, I've been outside busting my ass. Today's going to be no different. There will be no D&D tonight, mainly because I've got a big thing I've got prep work to do for tomorrow because I'm going to be out all day tomorrow. If it wasn't for the show, I would be out there right now. But I've got a huge thing of bags of mulch and rocks and stuff that I have to get on the hill today. By the time I'm done, it's going to be late. I'm going to be exhausted, and I'm probably going to go put a bath full of ice water and sit in it for about 2 hours. God dang it, man. It's that time of year where I am just killing myself in the outdoors. And it's about a week or two that I just have to get this done. And then I'm good for the rest of the summer. So my goal is to get this done this weekend. And then I'd like to get D&D going again. So I'm probably going to get the D&D stuff started. I mean, there's other stuff. People have real life too, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to be a very sore ranger come Monday. I may look miserable. I may be miserable. I may still be out there Monday. We'll see how Sunday goes. But I've got 2 big projects left to do outside. I have to redo a portion of the wall. And you guys that have seen the pictures know what that involves. I got to move all the bricks and get everything ready, and then we're gonna fix some stuff on the wall. That'll be the last thing I ever have to do on that stupid wall, other than like checking stuff here and there. And then I've got to get some concrete, and I've got to fix the pathway. It's got some cracks and stuff in it where the water is leaking, to get that water off that hill and off into the street, so we don't have to have to deal with any more water. So a couple big projects the next couple of days. So as soon as I get done with here, I actually have to go get the order, bring it in. Probably have a couple trips I'll have to do, and get all that stuff prepped on the hill. So I'm going to be an exhausted ranger, but that's okay. That's totally fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. We'll be here. I'm still going to get the content that I can get in, and we're going to get the streams getting it in. Speaking of content creators, look who it is, folks. It's Calvin. Awesome.
Yo, what's up, Ranger? How you doing?
What's going on, Big Daddy?
All's good in the neighborhood. We got 3-3 in Conquest going on. The best things in the game.
I know, man. Oh boy, Conquest. All right. We always like to start off talk about what's going on as people get their questions in. And good afternoon, good morning to everybody in the chat. I see everybody in there. Yes, the Stros are on a crazy win streak right now. I'm loving it right now. They're Trey. But I mean, Conquest. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Conquest first, there, Calvin? Or do you want to talk about 3v3?
I'm fine with either, Ranger. I think I've got both pretty heavily on the mind.
Okay, let's talk about Conquest. Now, I'd have to give CG a little bit of an apology. When I first saw all the Inquisitor feats, I wasn't happy, dude. I was a little bad. I was pissed off, actually, about like, come on, man. Because I just looked at all those other feats, and I still have like some issues with Conquest. But the Inquisitor feats were manageable if you had somewhat a semblance of a Inquisitor team, which I did. 4 or 5 stars. I have one relic, and that's Second Sister, but the other ones are only like 4-star, 5-star, gear 9, and I was able to knock out the Purge feat. I was able to knock out the Sector 4 boss feat, where you need all the Inquisitors, and I also was able to beat the Sector 5 feat, win 15 battles with the full team of Inquisitors. So I was like, okay, all things being equal, I didn't think that was going to be a thing. I was looking at these other feats, Calvin, like, Christ in heaven, I got to do all these other ones and then pray I can beat one of these. And it actually turned out that I actually was able to do these. I don't know how yours is looking right now. Well, we'll get to the other stuff in Conquest, but I mean, just on the Inquisitor stuff, how are you looking right now?
Yeah, the Inquisitor stuff wasn't that bad, and I kind of came into it, I think, with a correct perspective. My initial thought is this doesn't happen to this effect, but we saw this a little bit with like Bad Batch and with Maul and whatnot, and there always just ends up being a way to cheese the crap out of these. Yeah, like we were getting 14 we were getting 50 kills with Phoenix several conquests ago, so I wasn't too worried about those, and I think they are even easier than I thought they were going to be, though.
Yeah,
like you said, the boss battle, the one that right after the boss battle in Sector 5, like I didn't think that was going to be a thing. I didn't know about that. But anyways, I really, really, really love this Conquest from the boss battle perspective. Yes. I think this is what Conquest should have been since day one. Like it's really, really stinking cool. Number one, bringing in characters and teams that we're not used to. Huge plus, because that actually gives it a little variance and it makes it feel like its own game mode. Number two, giving specific mechanics, also really cool, because then it's kind of like a puzzle, like back when we had the Malik event or whatever. Mm-hmm. So both those are two huge pluses. I still hate the 40 battles. I think it's dumb. Yeah, I don't think it has...
I'm just losing my mind on that stuff right now, dude. It's like, oh my god, the 100 kills with Darth Revan and Malik too. It's like, oh my god, that is a long process. It's either you have to pick one. I don't know if you're doing both, Calvin, but I'm doing
both.
I'm just doing one. I don't need to do the Old Republic one because I've knocked out these other feats with Inquisitors, right?
Yeah.
But even now, like today, I'm doing 5 battles a day because you just can't overcome the stamina loss, right? With like you go to I'm going to Sector 1. And I'm doing 5 battles a day with Darth Revan and knocking out with the Darth Revan and the 100 kills. The 100 kills one is just like the Luke one that we had previously. It didn't really bother me, but the 40 battles, dude.
No, man. Because there's no way to cheese it. It is legitimately just a if I had to guess, it wasn't even meant to be a crystal drain, because when you look at it like in the grand scheme of things, that's like 300 crystals.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that much. It's a time thing. Like, they're wanting to get more time in game. Like, it's an extra 2 hours in game having to do that feat. Like, that's a lot of time.
It really is.
So yeah, I don't like those. I'm doing them the first Conquest, and this actually really sucks. So I had a camping trip last week, which was great, but I didn't do Conquest for 3 days.
Oh no.
So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to end up dipping into the hundreds here towards the end, just because I still don't know which feats I was supposed to go after and which ones I wasn't. So I haven't been doing it in a super organized fashion. I should still get Red Crate though.
Yeah, I'll get Red Crate, and we were talking about this too previously. As long as you get one Red Crate, now this is with caveats. If you're getting the $9.99 pack each time you do it, which I recommend you do if you're going for these characters, if you can get the Red Crate, you only need one. If you get one Red Crate, all you need is just to get the Gold Crate for the other two, and then you'll be good to go. So, and the other thing too, even if you're free to play and you can't get the Red Crate, that just means you have one extra Conquest to get Malgus. You just have to wait an extra month, right? Even if you get the Gold Crate, you'll still get the Conquest after that. So you'll be okay. You'll be okay with this. So I'm a little bit fine with that. Now, some people that don't have the roster that you and I do, Calvin, are really struggling with this Conquest. It is just too hard. Even with the GLs they have, they can't beat this. And it's kind of like, they're not enjoying it as much. I do agree with all your assessment, but there's a lot of people I've just been seeing through the week. They're like, I can't even get Gold Crate. It's just the boss fights are too hard. I don't have the teams. I don't even have Inquisitors unlocked to really do anything with them, or the gear to be able to do a lot of this stuff. And for them, I'm just saying, well, just get what you can, right? I think you say the same thing, Calvin. Like, just do the best you can. Get what you get. Especially if you're a mid-tier player, you get what you can get. I mean, if you're a mid-tier player, you're working on other teams and stuff. Just keep working on those teams that'll help you in Conquest. Eventually, you'll get there. I'm still waiting though for Proving Grounds. I think they need to get that in here sooner rather than later. I know how you feel, but for a lot of these characters like Razor Crest, Ahsoka, Maul, they need to get those out there so people can get them faster than it's been like a year now. We're getting a year on a lot of this stuff. Well, Ahsoka for sure. Razor Crest and Ahsoka are I think a year, right? When did Conquest last?
Yeah, you're correct. Razor Crest hit a year quite a while ago, and Ahsoka hit a year I think she was she will be a year. Well, she was in game a year ago, but she wasn't available to the public until another 2. Like, you weren't able to play as her for another 2 months.
Right.
But she was in game over a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else on Conquest, or should we go to?
No, not really. I mean, just emphasizing what you said. Like, obviously, do your best what you can, but Gold Crate is really what matters.
Yeah.
Because that's what's keeping you from getting locked behind this character for like years.
Right.
If you can get him in, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if you get him in 4, 5, or 6 months.
Right.
Any one of those are fine, but if you don't get him, you're either just waiting well over a year, if not years, for him to become farmable, and then have to farm him.
Yeah.
Or just spending crystals. So yeah, get the Gold Crate. Oh, and other thing that you were saying, people don't necessarily have the rosters that we do. I noticed, and I don't know if this probably has been a thing in other Conquests too, but how hard CG gave you an advantage if you have both JMK and Lord Vader.
Yeah.
Like, all of Sector 4 and 5's feats can be done with just those 2 teams.
Yeah. Just do it every day, one of each, and then you'll be good, right? That's 8 battles with both those.
And they're easy too, like low stamina. Like, I was killing things with Lord Vader and JMK with 30% stamina.
Yeah, you just go in there, especially with the disc that we have. So I mean, yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I first saw this Conquest. I mean, some of it's still bad. The 40 battles, I'm just like,
still stupid.
Oh my god,
hate it.
Because I'm like today, I'm going to do Jedi Academy. Then I'm going to be outside busting my ass all day, right? I'm going to be exhausted. I still got to somehow, some way, get my ass in here and do my 5 battles and other stuff I need to do to get the Red Crate still. I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes. So I'm going to...
Yeah, I probably have to start having to drop 100 crystal refreshes. I'll have more time with it being the weekend. But
It's still
yeah,
rough.
I don't want to get stuck on Monday or Tuesday or whenever ends is,
Yeah,
and
trying
be
to.
like, I have to dip into the 400s now.
Yeah, that's God. All right, let's get into 3v3 before we start getting to the questions. How is your 3v3 going so far?
It's going. It's man. It's such a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've won the one battle that I'm in, and my opponent, neither me or my opponent have attacked for the second match, so it's going good. But I said it on my last stream. It feels like we're in the Thomas Edison phase where all these new teams, we're not really figuring out what works. We're just figuring out all the things that don't.
Right.
Like Star Killer, man. Oh my gosh, I'm even with not having him, I'm still a fan of what they did. But damn, is he good in 3v3? With they give him a major buff essentially, because now even if you in 5v5 if you killed one of the members, all the bonuses went away for the next battle. Now they don't. Even a lone Star Killer is getting all those bonuses. So, he is just a monster.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of him beating so many GLs on defense.
Yeah. He's nasty. I've had mine on defense, and I've gotten holes with him on defense. He's still getting beat. I mean, he used a GL. I mean, I've seen 2 shots on him so far. So
I've seen a lot of GL fails.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of GL fails.
Yeah, it depends on which one you're using. Oh, wait.
JMK, no cat, C, Lord Vader. It's bad.
Because good is dumb.
Oh, thank you for the donation. Who was that? Oh, Clayton with the super chat says, "Morning Ranger, how are you feeling? How you feeling this morning? Better? Had breakfast already? Having my morning coffee and some 5x5 playing. There you go, buddy. My former band. I sent him the link to it. I feel like ass. I'm sore, and I'm going to make it worse today. So as I said, as soon as I get done here, Clayton, I'm going to be outside all day doing stuff. So I get to look forward to that. Drink lots of water, folks. If you're going to be out in this heat, drink lots of water. Yeah, so for me, I've won both my first 2 matches. A lot of it's standard stuff that I've seen before. Calvin, nothing's really surprised me on defense. We did my JC last night, got the full clear. It really, what the 2 things I'm noticing is people are trying to be efficient, be efficiency fighters. I mean, I have people with more GP than me. They're not putting their GLs on. They're terrified of 3v3 because they're not comfortable with it. Like me, I'm the opposite, and I know you are the opposite too. We've done enough 3v3 where it's like, I already know the counters. You know, it's just a matter of what I want to use. And that's with me putting 3 GLs and Star Killer on defense. I still have 3 GLs, but they're just not putting any GLs down. I think I've had
I mean, 3 GLs is pretty heavy defense for 3s.
Yeah, and
because the system kind of inverts. Typically, you put 4 for 5v5, but most people in 3 at most put 2.
Yeah, I put 3 down with Star Killer. That still leaves me 3 GLs, and it leaves me enough teams for offense that it's like, I mean, as soon as I see a team like, oh, there's CLS, Chewy, Chupio, then we go Troopers, or, you know, it's a matter of Wampa is the all-star so far I mean, he's a free solo team, right? Jedi Knight Luke is with the fast Jedi is an amazing team. That, you know, it lets you pick and choose. I mean, Sith Trio is the team that you can pick and choose, like, who do you want to use it against. So I think people are still getting their feet wet with 3v3s. But, you know, the thing I was thinking about, Calvin, and we'll start getting to questions here after this, is that, you know, when we did 3v3 prior to the changes, it was only the people that cared about GAC that did 3v3. Most times when we did 3v3, nobody gave a shit about it. I mean, that was when I was doing the GA Center, where we would get the most did not participate, did not attack, or they didn't put defense down. We had the helter skelter auto set defense. Those happened quite a lot in 3v3, and I think what I'm noticing now, even for players that with higher GP, is that because they didn't really try in 3v3 before, it's a learning curve. Are you kind of seeing the same thing with yours? I'm getting that from a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. I really think that, because that was kind of my last opponent. I went up against him. He had, you know, everything that we did, and he had 250 extra relic levels. He had an extra GL. He had Star Killer, more Omicrons, etc. And he dropped more battles on ground than we did, and he took a ton for offense.
Yeah,
like he took 4 GLs. I set 1, and he still dropped 3 battles. So I'm like, you had 3 freebies, and you're still like you lost to Boba Fett lead. But
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I am seeing that quite a bit. That, and it's kind of like you reap what you sow. Like there's so many people have clamored for the longest time that 3v3 isn't a real game mode. Which if it's been in the game for years now, you just have neglected to learn it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it feels great for me.
Well, it's different. I mean, there is a meta to 3v3. There's not like this.
There
is.
is. There is a meta. There are teams. There are counters. There's modding for it. It's its own thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't worry too much about the modding on that, but I do know what the counters are, and I do know, like, and you know this, like, you just look at a team. It's like if I see Finn with Finn and Poe on defense, I'm like, well, that's why I have a fast Finn. Because that's a free 58. I go first, you lose. It's things like that. I don't think Grievous should be put on defense unless you're running it with a certain team like Django. People are just putting like Grievous B1, B2. I'm like, well, that's a free win, with an easy team. I mean, I use bounty hunters against that team.
Say Mon Mothma likes that, I think.
Yeah, Mon Mothma. I mean, it's just a lot of teams. You have to think about the stuff of like how the team is going to interact. But if I think once you guys get used to it, I'm sure we'll get some 3v3 questions. You can watch Calvin. You should watch Calvin. You should go watch my JCs. And how we attack, what we have for offense. I still have stuff left over for offense, and I'm still putting down crazy defense. I mean, it's not like I'm, I put a crazy defense down, but I still have enough left over for offense that I'm like, who do I want to use gas on? Who do I want to use Darth Revan on? It's that kind of thing. So,
that's one of the realities of 3v3 too. Is it's weird to think about, but you use less characters, so you should, in theory, have some leftover good characters that you weren't able to use.
Yeah, I didn't use Bad Batch yesterday, or the clone. No, I used clones with gas, but I still had a Shakti clone team left over and Bad Batch left over, and some other things. I had quite a few left over yesterday, and that's with everything I use for offense. But there's just certain teams and characters you can use that you're like, yeah, this is undersized. I mean, Wampa helps with that tremendously. The Jedi Luke, Jedi Fast Jedi, either Herman Yoda or Shakti, is a great one to use against First Order. I don't care what the First Order team is. That's just free 58 banners. It could be Huxley, Hux, Red Lobster, and crew. You're just like, it's Luke. I go first, you lose, because it's going to counter you to death. So, all right, let's get to some questions here. I'm sure some more content creators, when they wake up, will get their ass in here. So let's do this. You ready, Calvin?
Sure.
All right. Bobby, God damn it, Bobby, says, question, I'm about to unlock SLKR. Should I work on Jedi Master Luke afterwards or stockpile gear for the June announcement? What do you think there, Calvin? I know what I think on this.
I'd like to go after what's known, what we know is good, what's viable now, and especially someone else recently asked a question about this regarding Rey. Like, do I go for Reynar? Do I hold that? I'm like, whatever's like. Let's say it is another GL, and I have no idea if it is in June or whatever. It's gonna require R9s. Like, it's not. It's gonna be incredibly more expensive than JML is. So I just say go for JML.
Yeah, I think you go for what. Yeah, I agree with. We've always said this on this channel. Go for what's out there. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what to prep for. If you've got SLKR, great. Then go to the next line of GL that's going to make the most sense for you, or teams that you want to do. There's two ways you can go about it. Either go round out a couple teams that you need that's going to help you in GAC and Conquest, or go for that next GL. Jedi Master Luke's a pretty good one. You get the Rebels, you get your Rebel fleet going, you get Jedi Luke, and then you get Jedi Master Luke. It's not a bad play to go get that, and you know what you're getting when you get those teams. Remember when people used to poo-poo on Jedi Master Luke? He is legit badass, dude. I mean, I don't know why people have ever poo-pooed on that guy. I never saw it. I was always like, that dude is legit, man. Jedi Master Luke's legit.
I thought it was really dumb. I think for the longest time, all it stemmed from was the fact that he didn't start with Tenacity up in Jedi Knight Revan. So in that matchup, he was automatically just slightly worse, and everybody thought he was garbage because of that. And it was just so incredibly wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Epic Fails question is: Sign and Nihilist broke. They seem to have to survive. What do you mean, Epic Fails? Is Sign and Nihilist
it's for
broke?
Conquest.
Oh, for Conquest.
There's a feat that says that you have to win a battle with the two of them in there, but in reality, they have to survive. So I don't know what you want to call it, if it's bugged or working as intended, but yeah, they have to survive.
Yeah. Wording. So maybe I don't know if they did some fixes here. I don't know if that was one of them. I didn't really get in the minutia of all the fixes and stuff. I do know
I don't
they
think it
fixed the dread.
was.
Yeah, I think
I think they
did
only
dread thing.
fixed
The dread
the
one
Sector
was,
2 boss and the Dread one, yeah.
Yeah.
So one good, one bad.
Yeah, it is what it is. What else? Through question: do you do the Inquisitor team battle feat in Sector 5? If so, what team and what node? That yes. So what you want to do, Calvin, keep me honest on this, is that if you go to Sector 5 past the boss fight, there's the Malgus fight. Now it is RNG dependent, but you with your disc and everything else, you should be able to knock this out. You go in there with your Inquisitors with Malgus, and then you can just wreck. That's where you get that's where I did the feat for the 15 Inquisitor fight. So, I mean, is that where you knocked yours out too, Calvin?
I haven't gotten there yet. Like I said,
okay.
I'm behind, which isn't good. But yeah, from what I've heard, the only RNG is that last team is random.
Yes.
So some people are getting easier fights than others, but that is how I've heard most people are knocking it out. And I haven't heard it is being done with low gear Inquisitors, like gear 9, gear 10, like not like half good, like some are gear 12. No, like low gear, really.
Yeah. And you've got disc and stuff. Some people that have gotten like for me it was the Old Republic Jedi Revan team, which is more than enough for the Inquisitors to beat. Some people have gotten like Imperial Troopers. That's kind of a cruddy team to get, but if just manipulating your disc and stuff, yeah, I mean you can lose some Inquisitors, but as long as you kill them, I mean the most important thing is to have those thermal detonators and stuff on there. So even if you lose an Inquisitor or two, as long as you get your big hits off and they die from the thermals, that's all that really matters. That's all you need to have happen. You can have one Inquisitor's landing and still have Malgus there, and you get credit for the win. So just make sure you have the right disc for this. Fatality V2 question. I got red crate this time, so I only need 2 gold crates to get Malgus. I can leave both of those grungy globals for the next 2 to get gold crate, right? As long as you get the gold crate, you should be fine. Yeah, I mean so the math works out that if you got gold crate with this one, you have 130 shards. If you got the $9.99 pack. And it's a little bit different if you're not buying the pack. If you don't have the $9.99 pack, then you have to do, like, say you got red crate this time, that's 110. If you get the gold crate, that means you'll have to wait till the next one, so the 4th one, to unlock Malgus. But if you're getting the $9.99 one, that basically means you're getting 65 plus 20 plus 20, right? So that puts you at like 105. That still puts you well about what you need to get the pack, as long as you get the gold crate. If you're getting the $9.99 pack, if you're not, then you have to wait you'll have to either get another red crate. You'll have to get red crates the entire time, or you'll have to wait till the 4th one on that. So yeah, if you're getting, and I do recommend the I don't know, Calvin, do you get the $9.99 pack? I always do.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't get anything.
You just get the red crate every time.
I usually do. This time I am a little skeptical.
Calvin might be getting the $9.99 pack. That's how the math works. All right, let's go to the next question. Gappy, what changes would you make to Conquest? Me, I'd reduce the feats right down, i.e. 5 times with bounty hunters rather than 40 times, but add 3, 4, 5 sectors. It'd be more fun. Yeah, what do you think? What are some changes you'd like to see? That's one I just can't. The 40 battle ones, they're missing the mark on that one. But what changes would you take away, and what would you add, Calvin, to Conquest?
I would just cut the 40s. Yeah, I really have no complaints in that for Conquest. I guess I would like to see a little bit more variety in the teams we fight, because there are, and this doesn't always happen. Sometimes RNG kind of bites you, and you get like 4 Padme teams in a row.
Right.
Like that kind of sucks.
That mirror damage is gross.
I would, and the mirror damage does suck. But like give us more options. Like I don't know how many we're fighting, but it feels like we're fighting like the same 15 teams over, however many, I don't even know how many there are, like 100 nodes or whatever it is. Right. So more variety in teams, cut the 40. I definitely don't want more nodes.
No.
I think the amount is honestly just a little more than I would even like right now. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think let's cut the over prepared a little bit because some of this, and it's not, you don't really notice it in sector 1 and 2, but once you start getting to sector 3, 4, and 5, if you don't have those mega teams, it can get really ugly really quick, because some of these teams have over prepared for. And then some of them, like, I get rid of the mirror damage on Padme. I mean, good Lord in heaven. Anything Galactic Republic, it's absolutely ridiculous. That, the reason I don't like the mirror damage is because you're trying to get 3 for 3. That will add up over time. And as you said, if you get nothing but Galactic Republic for those 4 fights, right, that makes it really difficult. Unless you've got one like a JMK or some team like that to beat it, it makes it really difficult to get those stars, all 3 stars, in those battles. Even with GLs, I mean, you go in there with SLKR, you better hope RNG doesn't mess with you, because SLKR be in the red before you know it, and he can die. I mean, it's really, it's insane. So I don't like I think they need to take that away. I do think the 40 battles are ridiculous. They just are. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. I hate having to farm this every day. The time sink is just unbelievable. Like, man, I'm going to be exhausted tonight, and I'm still got to sit here and dick around with with this crap. So, oh God, maybe if I drink enough bourbon, I'll get through it. Christ, I don't know. All right, let's get to the next question. Epic Phil says question. Do you love CG fixes? Sector 2 bosses, no attack leader, but no sign of knowledge swording? I think we answered this one, but I mean...
Yeah, I think it's kind of a crossover between what we talked about.
Yeah, we kind
of... They got
covered.
Dread working against, that was nice.
That was the one that I was most concerned about. I'm glad that they got that one done.
I am too, because they balanced it around that, and then just be like, okay, you're down 15, especially because that one's kind of a freebie.
Yeah.
Because if you do the 40 battles with Sith Empire, you should, depending on how you play, you should already have 100 kills with Darth Revan and Malak.
Yeah.
So that's just like 15 key cards you're missing out on for dumsies.
Yeah. You have to average 2.5 kills for each of the 40 battles. So if you average around 2.5 on average, that gets you to the roughly right around 100, or a little bit over. So yeah, as long as you get a couple kills each time you do it, that's what I was showing yesterday. It's like right now I'm 30 out of 40 and I'm 70 out of 100. If I just say I get 2 kills per the next 5, that put me at 80, 90. Then I can go, even if I get low end on the 2, less than 2.5, I still have 10 battles left to Sith Empire. If I can average 3, 3 kills per each fight. With Darth Revan and Malak, then I've got the 100 and I've got the 10 more battles knocked out. So yeah, you have to just do the math in your head. I know math.
I had to drop Marauder from that team. I'm like, all right,
I did too. Yeah.
You're a 7 Sith assassin. Now's your time to shine.
Yeah, I put HK.
You're not going to kill anyone.
Yeah, I had to put HK in there because mine's not even remotely good enough to put Sith assassin. So yeah, Marauder would just I'm like, all right.
Well, anytime it took a turn, he would kill someone.
I know.
Like,
his basic would take someone down.
Full health,
like,
full
Jesus.
protection. They just die.
I know. Just his basic would take someone. I was like, Jesus Christ! God damn it, Marauder! I'm trying to get kills, bastard. Even Bassie was. I just had to start using basics on her. I was like, nope, you just use your basics, son. I don't want anything else from you. You just sit there and do nothing. God dang. All right. Dakota the Hunter says, question, Calvin, should we still expect more ships to come? Maybe a Tri-Fighter, more Rebels to possibly add Admiral Radis and a Rogue One fleet with Gold Squad?
Yeah, I know nothing. But I would still expect ships, because the vibe that I'm getting right now is and this is kind of random, but with Sortie coming into the game, it legit just looks like sometime last year they pulled out a giant piece of paper with every character and ship and saw what wasn't really usable, and they're trying to force characters into the game in a good way to make everything usable. So in the beginning, I thought that Radis and First Order were going to be kind of screwed out of more ships. I don't think that's the case. And I would not be shocked if Malevolence got one reinforcement. Like, Malevolence needs a reinforcement as much as Sith Empire did right now, and we're getting Malgus.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see some more Old Republic action as well, with us now getting 2 Old Republic characters in a row. Yeah, I think we should expect more ships.
Yeah. We've had, 4 this year? 5 this year? How many have we had this year?
We had the one from Conquest. We had the 2 bombers.
And then
we had the rebel ship that came in.
Oh, the Outrider. Yeah, so 4. Yeah.
I thought there was one more.
It was
We had one. Did we not? No, I think
2 bombers, the prototype, and then Outrider. Yeah, it's been 4. So I mean, if we get a few more, I mean, I still think Resistance needs some more love. I mean, yeah, we got the tank, but they just don't have enough ships. They need at least 1 or 2 more ships on that fleet. I think First Order is actually in a pretty good spot. I mean, Echelon is that team is legit. And I'll tell you what, Empire with can't believe I'm saying this, Tarkin on defense. If you've got a high level prototype coming off the bench, that team is legit, dude. On defense, that is a nightmare to face, man. I mean,
it held for me last match.
Yeah, I got 2 holes with it. This one, I've had 2 holes with that fleet ever since I've had that ship in there. It's ridiculous. So, holy moly.
On a slightly unrelated note, I have actually really, really enjoyed. It took about a month to get used to it, but the 3 fleets for Endgame, that was really good. Like that. I've enjoyed that a lot, actually.
Yeah, if you've got the ships, it's enjoyable. But the thing that I've seen, and then it makes sense, right? People that are in Kyber, like Lower Kyber, that just don't have those fleets, fully fleshed out, they are not big fans.
Oh yeah, no, I still have a few people that'll come on my stream who are like Kyber 5 or something like this. And they'll be like, yeah, that would be great if I had 6 capital ships.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have enough to participate. Like that sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
So
and you got to push it because you got to get your best rewards, right? So it's not like they cannot try to push higher in Kyber, right?
Yeah.
So for those,
good for Kyber 1. Still think it was a mistake for Kyber 5 through 2.
Yeah, I do too. I think 2 and down they should have just left it the way it was. And I think even some of the upper echelon Kyber fighters were like, "We're fine with it, but no, don't do this."
I was okay with it in the beginning, but I've come around to be very for in Kyber 1. Like it's
Kyber 1
it's done me more favors than it has done me harm.
Yeah.
I don't have all fleets. I'm missing Radis completely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's nice to have that extra ship for cleanup, but yeah, it really does make a difference. But yeah, I just think Kyber 2 and down, it's too much, man. I just think that, that's why
I'm curious to how they'll address this later on too, because we're going to need more teams eventually for GAC. And I still think it's very, I don't know, ignorant to group Kyber 1 and Kyber 5 into the same pool. Like these are very different players and very different rosters.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the GP on average and what people have, it's not that they don't have good stuff. There are plenty of people, Kyber 4, 5, and 3, that have, a lot of good pieces, but they don't have all the pieces, and it makes it difficult. And the matchmaking's still a problem a little bit at lower levels. We're still getting these crazy matchups, which is basically people that don't really care. They're dropping. They're not really participating, but they have 7 million GP, but they're dropping into Rhodium now. And someone that's got like 4 or 5 million is facing them. If the person that decides to play, that other person's screwed. I don't care how good they are. The skill rating doesn't take that into account. So I think there's some tweaking and stuff that they need to do with matchmaking.
All they needed to do, in my opinion, was keep it exactly like it is now, except for the division. There should be a cutoff to drop from one division to another league or whatever it is by GP, just so you're never getting a matchup that is like over 3 million GP or something stupid like that.
Right.
Like just leave it a little weight classy. Like separate the classes just a little, but I still really like the win-loss. I think the win-loss is great. I just think there should have been some type of barrier that prevents a 11 mil account going against a 1 mil, because really there is nothing. No. Like if that person wants to drop, he can fight that guy.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do against such reckless hate? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what Capital Games does with that. All right. OBZ says, question. I just finished last Get 2 capital shipped. Do you guys hoard the currency for a future release or spend it all on gear? Any benefit to farm IPB anymore? Forget 2. I mean,
Yeah.
Forget 2, I'm constantly using. I don't know. I am not a. I mean, I'm about to be 9 million, and I still use all my Get 1 and Get 2 for gear. Once I get past all the characters and ships, I don't know how you not. If you still have, if you're 6, 7, 8 million GP, you're still constantly needing furnaces. And
Well, I mean,
oh
you
my
just
God.
into it's Chirotex.
Yeah, Cartex are
Like
part
you're
of
never
the
going to stop needing Chirotex.
Yeah. It's just a constant thing. I mean, how much you were saying this the other day? I think it was last Jedi Academy. The number of MK3 Carbantes, even with what they've added,
Yeah.
like it was like a ridiculous number. It was like 40,000 or something.
It's still, yeah. I think I need something. I think it's like 35,000 or something like that as an 8 million roster that has 5 of the 6 GLs. Like it's an absurd number, even though I have a very what I would consider a very end game account.
Yeah. And I was just looking too, like, and that number's going to go up for you, Calvin. I hate to tell you this because I was looking at the Inquisitors. They take a buttload of Corbantes too. So just
I took them all to Gear 11.
Oh boy.
I have them all Gear 11, so I think I got most of that knocked out. Yeah, I wanted to see how they did at Gear 11. It ain't good.
No, they need to be relic. I mean, they shine when they're up and running. But yeah, there's not like Bad Batch.
Because they don't have Echo on
No.
Bad Batch. She has a unique that does damage based on max health,
Right.
which helps them really catch up. Inquisitors don't have that.
No, they've got to be up and running.
They have to do the damage themselves.
Yeah, but when they're up and running, they're damn good. They're really good, folks. But it's a lot of Corbantes and 400 Cowertex each one. So,
but I really wouldn't expect us to get more characters that way. I mean, we might. So don't quote me on that. But I think ever since Conquest came out, that has been their medium of choice for releasing like the character between a marquee and a galactic legend like that, because it used to be the Epic Confrontations. That's where Malik and Gas came from,
right.
But those were received very poorly, and for a lot of reasons, for good reasons. But I think their method of giving us Malik and Gas level characters is going to be Conquest. So I don't hoard either of them. I think I have 40K of both just because sometimes I don't spend it correctly. But
yeah, I'm constantly spending everything I get my hands on right now. I mean, it's just constant. I mean, I'm always working on something. You would think that as much as I have done, that it would slow down. It's not slowing down. I still have more to do.
It's the model of the game. It never does.
It never slows down.
Never
folks.
will.
It never will. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's this constant stuff you're working on. And I've finished a buttload of stuff here recently. I'm just like, God, I can't. I'm so glad I got that done. Oh, that feels so good. Wait, I'm looking at what I have left. Damn it. Oh, Christ. You know, it's like, oh my God. Oh, Jesus. All right. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Remember, make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. Get those in, and we will get those scooped up. All right. Let's see here. The engineer. Choo-choos. This question, GAC, my opponent at 5.5 million with 2 GLs, JMK&C. He put a lot of relic tunes, but no GLs first wall. Still one shot my best relic defensive teams. How can I check this for cheating? Tell an old man.
SWH.GG in a week.
You have to wait. Yeah, you have to wait a week.
That's the only way to check.
Yeah, you got to look. And you just need to look at. There'll be telltale signs. Look at what they use, but just, I mean, you got to be really dig into the numbers. Okay, what, like, there was that one obvious one that we saw back in the day where
Daka versus Ray.
Yeah, it's like, well, and the person trying to explain that they didn't cheat, and we were just all laughing at them like, you're full of shit. Where you see Daka versus Ray, and you're like, so how did Daka and the Night Sisters beat Ray, first of all? And two,
with full protection.
With full protection, that's impossible. There is no possible way. They don't regen protection. You know, they would have lost protection after Ray did her first couple moves. I mean, sorry, but you wouldn't look for stuff like that. If something feels wonky, and then you just have to submit a ticket. And it usually takes a few weeks for them to get to it because there's a backlog of that stuff. So, and
if you want to have,
yeah, go ahead.
If you want to have a fun time, and maybe I don't know how fun this will be, but all right. So in a week's time, once the history is out, you go to the site SWH.GG, look at your history, look what they used. If you don't if you can't really tell if there's cheating or not, post it in your guild, get a second opinion, see what they think. And if it's like pretty much confirmed cheating, there's a server to catch a cheater where they pretty much go out and they witch hunt these guys, and they pretty much keep them from being able to play. Because CG's been very slow on cheaters. They have done some good work here and there, but recently it's been very slow. So you can go there and they'll get them kicked out of their guild and pretty much make their in-life game a living hell, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I think they deserve it. I have no sympathy for.
Oh, they should be banned, and they're not. That's the issue.
I know, but CG doesn't release that if they get banned or not. They don't say.
No, yeah, they won't.
You know, and that's for
which
legal
they
reasons.
they shouldn't either.
Yeah, no, not for legal
reasons.
You just don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that I've sent stuff in directly to CG for cheaters. I've actually myself. People have sent me stuff. I've immediately had action taken, and not just in GAC, man. On the biggest one I've gotten, Calvin. Ship server, people using these ridiculous fleets to climb an arena.
Those ones are really obvious too.
Yeah, it's like, how stupid are you, man?
Like your Sith assassin Tarkin is not beating Executor.
No, and it was, and I was just looking at this. I remember someone sent me one of those. I was just started cracking up, and I sent it in to CG. Like, come on, this you gotta be kidding me.
Well, that was the biggest way that we used to catch cheaters was Squad Arena.
Yeah.
You would just see these people climbing with things that didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. It's still a bit harder in GAC because you have to do your homework a little bit. Yeah, that catch a cheater server, definitely, if you think someone's been cheating, send it in. No, they'll be honest if they don't think someone cheated.
They're very good.
Yeah.
They are very good at, like, a lot of people will come in there, look at this cheater, and they'll be like, that's not how that works. He's like, but they had protection at the end of that. They're like, oh, why we can just strip the protection? That's how the game reads it.
Right. So
like they're very good at knowing what's cheating and what's not.
Yeah. So if you need that, check that server out. I get a kick out of it. I go in there when I get a chance just to see who's posting what. Like,
and then you get these people's guilds mates who come in and try to defend the cheaters, and we watch his battles now. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. That's not how this works, my friend. That one dude, man, his skill came to his defense. I mean, I get it. I support their loyalty. They look like complete buffoons, and I felt bad. For them, but I
don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, I felt bad that they were just so loyal, and I get it.
Yeah,
you are loyal, to a fault, right? You're defending your friend, you're guilty, but you also have to be subjective. You have to take a step back and be objective and say, look. We love you, but you messed up. You got to go. I mean, that's the thing you have to be able to do in a guild because you just can't have that. I mean, it really does. I mean, I never hold a guild accountable for cheaters unless they're all doing it, right? I mean, it's not a guild's job to.
Or like they know they're doing it, like they know they're doing it in TW and they refuse to do anything about it. Right. Like that's an issue. Like you're getting 522s against a roll of executors. Yeah. And the guild is just going to look the other way.
Yeah. And I don't have any sympathy for the guild on that either. It's like, okay, well, you get the reputation, you deserve it. So.
Yep, exactly. That ends up being the downfall.
Yep. So, all right. Darth Rocky TGO question: does needing 6 fleets in Kyber give the first gen GLs priority over the second or third GLs, which are slightly better per iteration because of the fleets? That's a great question. I've been having a lot of people that I've been doing roster reviews for that are early game, mid-tier game there, Calvin. I'm like, you really need to think about SLKR as your first GL. Not only that, because of his fleet.
Holy crap.
What?
Just kind of agreeing with what you're saying. Like, SLKR, that character has gone up so much in value. Yeah. He's pretty much the number one counter to Executor at this point.
Yep.
Besides the mirror. The First Order TIE pilot, Omicron, looks to maybe be the best Omicron, or at least like one of the best. Phasma is still really good for TW.
Yeah.
What the person's asking what you're saying, and Ray definitely got a little bit better, but SLKR, man.
SLKR.
Oh my gosh, he's so good.
Yeah, I think the if you take ships as a part of it, I think SLKR and Executor.
Huge part of it.
Are your first 2 GLs if you're a newer player. After that, I'm kind of leaning people toward JML and JMK next because you still
They
have
filled the roster better.
Yeah, they filled the roster better. Plus, you've got the Rebel fleet and the GR fleet that will make a lot better. So those 4 teams right there, I mean, legit. Plus, you're going to work on if you get Padme and stuff for JMK and stuff. That really ups your separatists too, because you're gonna if you work on gas, and that you get you into your malevolence fleet. Now Rey, Rey as a GL is ridiculous. She is the Queen of D for a reason. She is fan-bloody-tastic. She is so good on defense, especially in threes. I mean, she is a monster. But her fleet, it's not on the same level as these other ones. I mean, I'm sorry, but it just isn't. It just doesn't have it's a good cleanup fleet, and that's what you use it for. I mean, that's all you can really use it for. If you put on defense, you're just begging for rebels. If someone has even somewhat adequate rebels to get...
Or first order.
Yeah.
I mean, everything beats it.
Yeah. So it's definitely a cleanup fleet, and it's definitely not a first assault fleet. You're not going in there against any of these teams that are going to be on defense like, oh, use Radis here. No, it's a cleanup fleet. So I think that kind of drops Rey, in my opinion, to one of the later GLs that you're going to work on. But I think those 4, SLKR, C, JML, and JMK are the first 4 you should look at. Their fleets are phenomenal. They're all really good. And then after you work on those 4 fleets and those characters and GLs, then you can get into, like, I would say the 5th fleet you should go for is Malevolence for sure. You'll use your get for,
it's kind of a natural
yeah.
thing there with JMK too, because you need R7 Grievous.
Yeah.
To get JMK, so you should be kind of close on Malevolence.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just makes sense, right? Then after that, I mean, it's like, okay, Rebels, you'll get through JML. So that'll be a nice little thing. So what does that leave? So we've, you'll get Imperials and Bounty Hunters kind of through osmosis, probably working on C. What's the other fleet? I'm thinking about First Order. I'm going brain dead here. Executor, first SC.
Are you missing an Empire?
Yeah, Empire, but that kind of works through. You'll get some of those pieces through.
I mean, you get the Empire fleet almost entirely through getting C.
Yeah, so that'll
you get TIE Bomber, you get Palpatine, you get Royal Guard, you get Vader.
Yeah, so that on top of the Executor, you get that fleet. So yeah, you're looking pretty good on fleet. So that's would be the path for anybody that's we've been. When I do mini roster reviews on Tuesday, I'm always pushing people that way because it just makes sense to get that, man. It's just they're too good. They're just too good, and I think you're really if you want to climb up higher in JC, one of the things people have forgotten about is especially now with 3 ships, but even then 2 ships. You need good ships. You really do. Fleets make a difference, man. Executor makes a difference. There's a reason why some people that do GAC they can clear the ground troops no problem, but they get the ships and they're just like they're lost. They have nothing. They have no answer. Like if they've got like the 3 best ships and you don't, then I've seen a lot of people lose that way, Calvin. It's
I mean that was always kind of a thing, but ever since they did the 3 split, it's become a super relevant thing.
Yeah, it really has. All right. Answering your Darius and Dothraki, yes, those characters have become SLKR for sure.
Especially SLKR.
Yeah, without a doubt. Rey, not so much. So
better than before, but not at the same level.
No. Now, if they can get one more attack ship or another ship on there, we'll take a look at. I mean, that may change, right? We're always organic with our commentary. If we get another,
I'd like to see a really, really good TW Omicron come out of Resistance too. Because their GAC really kind of fell flat.
Yeah. But I like to see another ship or 2 that really have that oomph, that impact, that can make that team hit a little bit harder and make it more viable. Nathan A says, question, how is your GMK modded? I don't know. You have GMK, Calvin? What's one GL you don't have yet?
That's Rey.
Rey? Okay. So...
maybe should have said that before we commented on the last subject.
Yeah, but you've seen and you've been doing this enough. You know how it is with Rey. I mean, it's not rocket science here. I mean, about that.
Yeah, it's true. She's been around a while.
Yeah. GMK is just speed. The faster he gets into his ultimate, especially on defense, then the AI will play it where it will prioritize getting him into his ultimate if it starts getting its ass kicked. But speed on Kenobi has still been the play. I haven't seen anything different on him. I've seen some people try some different things. It didn't quite work out as well as they'd hoped. I mean, you could go offense if you can get his speed really high. But he's not really, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't hit as hard as some of the other characters on that team. He's just there to do what he's meant to do, which is take as many turns as possible, get into ultimate, and then make your life a living hell, right? I mean, I've got him with speed out the yin yang. How do you have yours, Calvin?
Yeah, he's mostly speed too. So some characters in the game, and JMK is a perfect example of this, their kit just carries them. Yeah. They don't need a ton of offense or a ton of defense or a ton of health or protection because how their kit in its nature works, it just carries them. And what Ranger is saying about speed is pretty much all you really want. But that being said, like, I wouldn't tell anyone to put plus 25s on him.
No, you don't need that kind of crazy speed. I mean, he's a fast character anyway. I don't even think I have. Do I have any 25s on him? I think maybe
like he's a plus 20.
Yeah, I've got
maybe
a 20,
plus 15
a 23.
Depending on what you got.
Yeah, I got a couple 26s on him, but the other ones are like 21, 20. You know, I'm not worried about it. I mean, mine's 576. As long as you get like 570, 575, he works. I mean, I don't think you need anything else more than that.
Because the big thing, you're right, taking turns, gaining mastery, that's ultimately what's going to put him in front, getting that ult off. But the other thing that is really nice about having him fast is if you can prevent an enemy JML from just going in and immediately ability blocking him, that kind of sets you up in defense. But I've seen matches where JMK goes first and he still loses, and I've seen where he doesn't go first and he still wins. So
it comes on the RNG too.
It's
yeah,
a hard line in the sand, much different from like Ray's offense or C's health.
Yeah,
like C's health is infinitely more important than JMK's speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's talk. It's a good point here as we get some more questions in. There's just certain ways you want to mod your GLs. Like for Ray, it's offense. I've seen health rays. I just don't think it works anymore, Calvin. You're not timing out teams like we did.
Not with Vader. No. Ever since Vader got nerfed, that was a thing of the past because you don't have to worry about her surviving. Like nothing's gonna kill her at this point.
No. But Ray with tons of offense is the play. SLKR. Now, SLKR is an interesting one. There's two ways, and they both work. I like both, and I've done both. Right now, I just have him hitting really, really super hard, but I mainly have him attacking like Lord Vader's if I use him right. So I just want him to knock the shit out of stuff. Mine's got 14,000 plus offense on it right now. Decent speed, like about 520, but that kind of offense I think plays really well for SLKR. Now, the other way I've seen it, and I've done it in the past, is less offense. Around 11k, 11.5, but he's like same speed as Kenobi. So you're trying to ramp him up faster. Two foods of thought. I think they both work. It just depends on how you're using them.
I have a third way.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no. So I agree with those. I think as long as you're hitting these three stats, you really can't go wrong, and that's health, offense, and speed.
Yep.
And on mine, I actually went full health.
Nice. Okay.
So I have full health sets, full health primaries. Pretty much how you would mod your C is how I have SKR modded. So he's got 186k health at R7. His offense is pitiful. He has, we barely break 10k, and then we're at like 533 speed. But I really like that because I just want him to survive. This is very helpful in our last 3v3 match against Lord Vader because Maul got all 5 stacks of anguish off on SLKR, and SLKR was still standing because he was just that thick. So,
yep.
As long as you stay within one of those, like don't put a crit damage set on him. Don't try to don't put potency or crit chance. I've seen a lot of that. Just complete wastes.
Yeah, the set I have on him is health set, right, to boost his health, and then offense. For mine.
Yep.
So he's tanky, and that he can take the hits. And my offense on him right now is 14,343. So when he pokes you, you feel it.
The upside to that type of SLKR is he was going to start slaughtering things before he even builds mastery.
Right. That's the point. He'll
go into his first ult and he'll kill characters on the hit into ult.
Yep. It's so
You don't
good.
need to. You don't even need to stack.
No, it's delicious. What are the other ones? See, we already talked about. That's health. That's an easy
Pure
one.
health.
Yeah, pure health. You want them at Relic 7, I think about 180 is 180k health on average.
I would say minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you should in theory be able to hit 190 if you're running full health sets and full health primaries at R7.
Right. And the higher you get his health to 200,000 or above is where you want. Relic 8 helps with that tremendously.
Yep.
You don't really need a Relic 9 on him. You can hit
No.
over 200,000. Mine's 204 at Relic 8. It's not that, you just have to slice the 60 months. Easier said than done with good health secondaries. But yeah, you don't worry about speed on him or anything else. Jedi Master Luke. Now, he's one of the few characters I've taken to Relic 9, and I highly recommend it. You want protection. I see people doing JMK wrong or JML wrong all the time. They'll put health sets on, but they'll have no protection. And I'm just no.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Because protection is what gets the bonuses to the other Jedi to make that team work. So for mine, it's 160,000 health, 145,000 protection. I think I have mine on right now. I cut the protection on just a little bit. I did have a little bit higher, but you want at least protection above. I'd say Relic 7 about 100k, at Relic 8 at least 110 to 120, and then Relic 9 it shoots up like a skyrocket. It really does. That Relic 9 on JML is unbelievable. He's one of the few characters I'm like, if you want to Relic 9 someone, he's one of the first ones you do.
In my opinion, he's the only, like, if you want to rank them, he's the only S tier. Like, what that does to his team is more than any Relic 9 does for any other team in the entire game. Like, it's the only one I have. It is the only character I have at Relic 9. But yeah, I'd actually say that he's the hardest to mod for, because he needs, different from like C or Rey, he needs a collection of stats. Like you said, he really, really, really wants protection. He also really wants to be fast, and he doesn't hate potency.
No. You got to hit 90% or higher on his potency, or he's worthless. And so with the modding, I did it with... so when I took off the protection, I had a protection cross. I went with the potency cross, just so I could have his potency at 105. So he's landing those ability blocks and stuff that you want, right? And I think people make that... miss that number as well. So that's JML.
Yeah, he's definitely the hardest.
He's the hard one to hit, but if you can get the mods on him, he works really well. Lord Vader is just simple. It's 100,000 health plus and 200,000 protection. You're looking at for anything. If you get it, like if you can hit those two stats, but you can keep his offense with about 11k, 10.5 to 11k, he's going to do what he does. Speed's important, but it's not that important. Because he takes time to ramp up. So I mean, it's just
it's the same thing as SR or JMK. You need him to take turns so that he builds his mastery. But
yeah, it's a slow process. So you want to make him beefy, get that health, have that protection on him. So, and this has been modding GLs with Ranger and Calvin. But I just wanted to bring that up because I see it all the time. I don't know like how often you look at people's rosters and stuff, but I see that all the time, Calvin. And I'm just like, no. Get that crap off that GL. You're basically wasting mods at this point.
I remember the very beginning. I haven't seen it recently, but like before it became like people's TW counter, which I guess in the lower game took a little longer than it did at the top. But like people just had no idea how to mod C. Like I saw so many tenacity modded Cs.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
The answer was, he still beats JML, and I'm like, I guess.
He could beat JML no matter what. He was just a hard.
Like
counter.
he could do that without mods, but
yeah. I mean, he's gonna kick his ass. It was when it came down to like Rey was the game changer on that because
it was. That's when people started getting down to it.
Yeah, and then the more we looked at his kit and just like he's going to do what he does. I mean, he's a GL, so his speeds, even if you don't even have speed, he's still in the high 400s, right?
Well, and he has speed up too, which makes a huge difference for a Galactic Legend.
Yeah, but he just does what he does. I mean, you link, and then you wait, and you ultimate. I mean, that's all it is. You just have him you have to have him to be able to take those damage, especially from those rays. I mean, those rays, man. They're going to have offense, and if they're running the right team, if they throw an R2 or a Hermit Yoda in there, that makes her even more dangerous. She can one-shot you. I've seen C's at 190k get blitzed by Rey. So
Yeah, there's timing in that too. Like if it's right off or right into a whirlwind,
yeah,
that's when things get messy.
very much so. So, all right, top of the hour. We are doing the Jedi Academy. Glad to have you guys here on a Saturday morning. And so if you guys want to keep getting your questions in, make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement or wherever you want to ask us or say, and we will get that scooped up. So there we go. Let's see here. Nathan H. question: how high are your relics for your Resistance pilots? I haven't done anything with the Resistance pilots other than the one I had for GL Ray. I'm just being honest.
I don't have any. I don't have any
They're
Resistance pilots
standard
relics.
box relic 5 or 3, whatever they are. I mean, but even then, I've seen people take some. We faced one yesterday. I think he had relic 7 on all his pilots and stuff, and I'm just like, it didn't make a difference. I mean, it's just Resistance pilots. Just the Resistance team itself. It's one of the few teams it's not like Echelon. First Order Officer is legit needs a relic 7. That's a nice addition to the Echelon. But I'm looking at the new bomber. It's like, okay, it makes it beefier, but it's still Rebels still go in there and kick the shit out of it on defense. So just whatever you have to do for GL Ray, leave it at that for right now until we get some more changes to the Resistance fleet. I don't think you need to take those characters higher relics for their ships. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I'm just not seeing the data on this that says so.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any points of at this threshold for Poe, he starts one-shotting this specific character that you need to win. Like they're just, I wouldn't do it. Or at least I wouldn't do it and expect results.
Yeah. All right. Ray, question. I'm in a fleet shard where some guys in the same guild are sniping me at payout and locking each other in the last minutes. I also believe they are sharing accounts. Anything I can do? I don't know.
Not really, no.
No. There's not much you can do.
This was one of the huge flaws of Squad Arena and Fleet Arena 2 is there are a lot of things in them that happen outside of them and that CG just can't control. No. CG cannot tell someone what to do outside of the game, and that's where this is happening. I've talked to a bunch of people who are in situations, and any quote unquote solution just ends up demanding much more work for you.
Yeah, it
just sucks.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about it. I mean, I wish there was. I mean, honestly, it seems like they're not willing to play nice. The only thing I can think about you doing is talk to some of the other people in that shard, maybe that may have the same payout, or just move your payout. I know it sucks to say, but if that's the case at that time that they're doing that, maybe if you can, it may not be convenient. I'm just offering some solutions that might work here. Where change your payout time to a different payout time so you don't have to deal with that. So they can just, they want to have that payout or in that little time window there, then let them have it and just do it at a different time. Change your payout. That is an option. The other option is get with some of the other people in your shard and work together to kick their ass enough that they get the message. Either let's work together and share, or we can just be at war. Nobody gets nice things. I mean, those are your only two. Your two choices. I mean, if you talk to them and they're like pissed off, then that's really your only two choices. I don't know what else he does there, Calvin. I mean, that's it.
No, I mean those are good options. I mean, those are the only options.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. All right, Andy plays games. What's going on, Andy? Says question: do you take off the thermal data disk for the Revan and Malik kills credits? I have not. I don't know if you, Calvin, have you started that feat yet? I'm sure you have.
I stopped putting the thermal one on for Conquest. I think 3 seasons ago, specifically because of that. I was never getting my kills. Like at a certain point, I'll put it back on. I'll put it on when I know I just need the wins.
Yeah,
but I typically try to keep it off.
Yeah, I mean, I have it on there, but it's not affecting me. As I said, I only need like a couple kills per time I'm doing it right now, so it's worked out. But I was also debating, like what Calvin said. It was like, let me get the 40 done first. That's the most important thing. Have the thermals on there. If I get some kills along the way, great. But I got to get the 40 done. I can go back in and take off all that bullshit and then just run like with GL with the Revan and Malik if I have to, go get the rest of the kills. but I would take thermals off. For getting just victories, like you want thermals and that stuff when you're doing like the Inquisitor one. Trust me, you want that on there. You want them dying from all that stuff because you're just trying to get a team victory. You don't care. It's not about kills. But if you're trying to do the kill one, yeah, you might want to take that off and use some of the other discs on there. I think I did that for the Purge mechanic. I didn't want them dying. So I just took that off and we went with this. There's videos out there, guys, of like what you should put on there and stuff. But yeah, if it's for team, like you have to have all 5 and get the kill, definitely have thermals and all that crap on. If it's not, you're just going to make your life a little bit tougher if you don't get the kills. The kill ones are the ones you definitely don't want it on there. All right. Next question. Oh God, Nightbot's fighting me. Come on, Nightbot. You know you want to play. Come on. Ronan Zai question. What's the best non-mirror JMK cat GK counter in 3v3? What do you like there, Calvin? You have a JMK cat and a GK on 3v3 defense. What's a non-mirror that you would like to use on there?
I think what I have planned on using is SLKR Zombie DACA.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because that works a lot better in threes because they just have so much less tools to work with.
Yep.
You can just sit there and siphon their GK pretty much to death, and they have a really hard time of it finally getting around to killing SLKR. So that's typically what I would do.
Lord Vader, Maul, and Royal Guard work really well against that because you just focus Ahsoka with Maul's hit every time. He's always in frenzy because there's 2 Kenobis there. He's always angry, and you're going to get to ultimate very fast. Outside of those 2, I'm just going through my head. JML? No. It's a tough fight. You could do it. I'm just trying to think of what would be the best option.
I've heard about people talking about it. It's Jedi Knight, Luke, and Hoda. But I remember last 3v3s, we couldn't get that to work.
No, that's why I put him on defense. It's like JML goes down a little bit in 3v3 for some of those fights. He really needs those other Jedi to really kick some ass. I mean, if SLKR's on defense, JML will still kick the shit out of him. C, possibly. How would C Watt armor? I don't know how that would work because no.
I think I've heard of that too, but I think it's C armored GBA,
something like that, right? You get the to protect you from Ahsoka's initial, death flip. Takes out the brute, but then you still got your team. You get the Inkets on Palpatine. You can and you don't need. There's only 3 of them, and there's no debuffs really there, other than GMKs. But you can get through that with the Inkets and survive it, especially if you have a hard hit. So C could work there with GBA. I like that, or a tank. It's just somebody to take that initial hit. But I do like GBA there.
He gives a little bit more insurance because you can typically get him back almost immediately. They don't have enough oomph to kill GBA before he takes a turn.
Yeah, Ray ain't doing shit against JMK.
I thought the Jedi Knight Revan Jolie or something like that.
Yeah, that's a possible.
It's very expensive.
Oh,
I mean, it's JMK, but
yeah. I think someone did. What was it? JML Gas and Jedi Knight Luke was someone who used, but that one's because Ahsoka's going to hit JML, but then you just with the armor shreds and all the calls and assists is one too. I don't know. It's not a fun one to face. So, but yeah, the SLKR one and I think the other ones we mentioned can do it. So yeah, I think you'd be okay. Benny says, question, how to counter Wampa? I killed the 2 ads, now stuck on him. So
oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's rough, man. Do you have crew? Get in and just try to loop a 2-turn stun on him.
Yeah. What else could work here?
Oh, that's a really bad. That's a really tough situation to put yourself in.
And it's got turn meter too, because he killed the 2 ads.
I was gonna say, yeah. He has all his bonuses, and he didn't have them when the 2 ads were there.
Right. Oh Christ! Boy, what do we do here?
Crew would be my number one. I'm trying to think of a second one that isn't just like complete overkill.
Oh boy.
Something with tenacity down and a lot of stuns and a lot of DPS.
That's what I'm trying to think of. What could do it? I don't even know if like a Boba Fett led Han Chewie team, because I don't know.
Han and Chewie would definitely work. Yeah, Han and Chewie would
Han and
definitely work
Chewie
just because they have tenacity down and multiple stuns.
Yeah.
That's expensive, but I mean,
It may be what you have to do, unfortunately. Even CLS on that team would be good, because you can swipe them and stuff. Oh boy. Oh, I'm really stumped here, Cal. What the hell do you do?
well, the issue is if in 5v5 you have a lot more tools to work with. You have a character to put tenacity down. You have a character to actually do the damage. You have the character to stun him. You have another one to slow him down. Threes, it's hard. Like you have to have multiple characters filling multiple roles.
Oh man.
Like I said, Crew would be great. Han and Chewie would work. I mean, again, if you start getting to these bigger teams, they'll all work. Like Jedi Knight Luke will work.
Yeah.
A Galactic Legend will do fine.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a hard hitting team. There's no point. There's got to be a GL or a top A team to take that out, because you can't go in there with one of your other teams. They're just gonna get, well, they're gonna get whomped.
Yep.
Womp solo. That's why I keep him for offense. Can pretty much beat the shit out of most things. He's pretty legit gross. I'm racking my brain right now. Like what could
Dash might work if you can time the days correctly so that it always happens after he cleanses.
Right. You may have to use gas. Gas could do it, because gas can get the shred, and then you just get Rexed into Rexolate, and then he'll take him out. That's kind of the only things I see, buddy. I think you're in trouble.
Malik will beat him.
Yeah, Malik can do it. Malik, because he'll get feared all the time and stuff. So Malik versus Swamp, I'll take Malik. Geos with Spy versus Swamp? No way.
No.
That one AoE will just ruin your day, dude. No way. I don't even think Spy would hit hard enough, fast enough before he womped up that you could do it.
Yeah, and
Thrawn Dark?
Again, in 5s it would work, because you would be able to get tenacity down and ability block on him, but you can't take in all 5 characters. You're stuck with 3 of them.
Thrawn with Empire could do it. I mean, like, see Mara, but he's going to go first, though. That's the problem. But if you can survive, like, Thrawn was, like, you probably have to go, I don't know, Thrawn with who? You can't use Dark Trooper. He's not.
Palpin Mara would probably work.
Yeah, you can shock.
Because you have tenacity down.
Yeah.
You have stagger.
Fracture.
You have a 2-turn stun. You have fracture.
Yeah, that
would control him.
Yeah, that would control him. Ewoks is Tumble Dry? No. No, don't do that. You're just sending in. Those are appetizers for Wampa. Those are our best shots there, Benny. I don't know what else to tell you, buddy. Hopefully that helps. God bless you, sir. And our Wilson question, I just got my JML Relic 9. Congratulations. What's the next GL I should do Relic 9? I have all 6. None. Don't do any.
Yeah, I depending on where you are in the rankings in GC or what you're trying to do, if you're like really high up, I think Lord Vader probably warrants it. But like I typically sit right outside of 1K, and I cannot justify putting R9 on anyone else but JML.
Yeah. JML, the other 2 that I've done is Piet and Bosk. But that's Piet's because of he's Piet ship. Come on. Bosk because I use him for the Lord Vader counter, and he's just ridiculous at Relic 9. He just won't die. But for GLs, Relic 8. I don't have any problems with Relic 8. Calvin, the other GLs work just great at Relic 8. I don't have any problems with them at Relic 8. I just don't see Lord Vader. Yeah, he gets a bump in stats, makes him a little bit harder to kill. But I mean, I've faced Relic 9s with my Fennec. She still kicks the shit out of him. So I mean,
it would be mostly for solo and SLKR.
Yeah,
that's how I'm using it more or less right now, and it looks attractive to me from that perspective. But yeah, the other ones they just don't move the needle. Like an R9 Ray is not killing a properly modded R8C, and vice versa. Like you're not R9 JMK isn't going to stop any counter that R8 wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, JML's the one GL that just I was when I'd seen it, but when you actually put it on and you see his stats, the way they go just skyrocket, you're just like, holy God, why didn't I do this sooner? But it's really hard. The amount of what you have to scrap and salvage, that's a tough one to swallow there, Calvin. It is a really tough.
No, it is. R9 is very hard to come by. And I'm not even talking droid brains. It's everything else. Like I have 40 droid brains right now, and I can't put another R9 because of every other material.
Yeah. It's just that. And like to get the secondary piece for the R9, it takes furnaces. It takes the data.
It's like 260 furnaces to get that. That sucks.
That think about how many characters. That's like at least if 3 characters you could take to Relic with those 6, almost 5 furnaces. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's horrible. I remember I've done it and it just, ooh. Oh God. Okay. What else? Any 3 question? Would C and Want and Sith Empire Trooper be okay versus a Relic 9 raid with 12k offense? With Holo and Rose, no Omni. Yeah, that would be fine. Well, it depends on what your C's. If he's like 200k with Watt and Set, yeah. Because you're going to put the... I'm trying to think. You may even want...
I don't even think you really need Set.
No, really.
I mean, you're going to throw the tank tech on him, and they don't have...
Well, they don't have a... Yeah, they have a JTR on
healing immunity, so you're going to tank everything.
Yeah.
I would just say when you do get your first ult, don't zap both the ads. Only zap one of them. That way you can relink and get your protection back.
Right. Yeah, I think you're fine. I don't even know if you need Sith Empire Trooper for that. I mean, she's going to hit hard, but I mean, if you've got your seed modded correctly, once you put the tank tech on, I'm even wondering, do you want the med tech on that? There's no JTR there.
I would still do the
yeah, probably safer
the
to do
tank tech. And I think putting in Set might hurt you because he's going to gain turn meter when she puts out lifeblood, and that's going to feed her more offense.
Right.
Yeah, I would 2-man that.
Yeah. But it also depends on the health of his save. It's like 180,000. That could be a little scary. This should work in theory. But then again, there's always RNG, Calvin. We always say this stuff, and then they die.
You get a whirlwind,
yeah.
old whirlwind back to back. The
What do you
ult
do?
accidentally kills a character that wasn't even linked.
No. Oh. Michael Pastian says, question, should we now prioritize T3's Omicron for TW with Sorty's addition to the game?
Ooh. I thought about that. I have not all looked into it. Let me pull that up.
I'm going to say, for me, it depends if you're a TW-focused person. So here's the thing. It goes into a bigger subject for me as we let Calvin look this up. There are a lot of good TW Omicrons, folks. There really is. I'd love to put them on. But GAC is where it is. That's where I get crystals and these rewards. You know, so I have not done a TW Omicron yet.
Oh my gosh, Ranger. I have more TW Omicrons than you?
Yeah, I don't have any. Because
I have one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're fantastic. I think Phasma's Omicron is amazing. I think Mara Jade's Omicron is amazing. We know what Dad Bod Boba Fett can do if you have it. But I think it hurts you long run if you're doing JC and you're trying to get those crystals and stuff. Eventually, I want to put all those Omicrons on. Don't get me wrong. I think the ones for Sortie and stuff and T3 and everything. I mean, anything you say TW Omicron to me, I'm like, yeah, but. It's like, yeah, it's incredible. But I got GAC, and that's where I get my income and stuff from and rewards and to get these characters up faster. So it's hard for me to say, do a TW Omicron. I just, as good as it is, I just can't. It's hard for me to tell someone, especially when they're, trying to get better rewards in GAC, to say, yeah, go do that TW Omicron. I mean, it's your game. You do whatever you want. And if your guild wants it or prioritizes it, or you think it'll help you in TW and that's more of your thing, absolutely put it on. I love the Phasma Omicron. I think Mara Jade's Omicron in TW is incredible. I mean, that is a sick ass Omicron. I mean, that's just
it's really stinking good.
It's a free victory.
Ranger.
The T3 one.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really, really good
I
setup.
know.
Basically, Sortie has an ability that gives the entire team stacking offense throughout the battle, so you just need to survive. And T3's Omicron for TW is basically gives your team like 300% defense and then constantly heals health and protection. So they just, I mean, they go really well together. It's, yeah. So A, if you already have the team geared, and B, your guild is TW focused, I say heck yeah. That's probably top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bigger overall discussion. Like, I mean, how do you prioritize TW and GAC? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's tough. I wish you know what it would be. You know what would solve this problem, Calvin? If we got more Omicrons faster. That's the biggest issue.
I think that TW ones, and I've been on this bandwagon for I don't know a month now. Just by the amount you use it, they should be cheaper. So for GAC, you were able to use it 12 times in a month, so it should cost 20 Omicron mats. TW, you're allowed to use it 4 times in a month.
Right.
So since you're using it 1/3 of the time, it should be 1/3 of the cost. Like a TW Omicron should be 7 or 8 Omicrons. Like that's what it should cost. I would even settle for 10. But having them at the same price is really kind of sucky.
Yeah, they're almost impossible to get. I mean, you have to really be busting your ass to get Omicrons right now. The RNG in Cantina, I mean, it's always like a nice little Christmas present when I get one in Cantina, but you only get them through Conquest or you get them through Galactic Challenges, and other things. And there's, it's not a lot to work with. So, I mean, that's why I think it's making the choice is difficult for folks that. Because I know there's a lot of people out there, Calvin, they want to do TW Omicrons, but they're so hard to get. And then GAC being the moneymaker that it is for folks, with crystals and stuff, it's hard for them to, I mean, how do you tell someone that's struggling GAC, don't do a GAC Omicron? They do make a difference. Some of those teams are legit awesome with those, like, I would never tell someone that has don't bother. There's not much conflict in you. So that's okay. Yeah, go do the TW one. I'd be crazy to tell somebody that, man.
Well, and hopefully you can balance it. And I know this is limited for everyone, and spending definitely helps with this. But at a certain point, you start to run out of good ones. Like that. That's why I have Mara Jades for TW. And one of the big motivators for it was like, I don't want any of these other GAC ones. Like I'm gonna do Mara, even though I favored GAC heavily over TW. I'm gonna do Mara before I put roses on.
Right.
I'm gonna do Mara before I put Princess Leia's on. Like that to me is just kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, if you ever did choose between Starkill's Unique, Qui-Gon Jinn, Iden, Wampa, like that, those are going to take priority.
Yeah, they're just too good. I mean, even Zams is unbelievable. I mean,
oh yeah,
god damn, it's hard. It's really hard.
Folks. First order TIE Pilot right now.
Oh god damn. That's another nice one. So, oh boy. OBZ question. Just got gold crate at 5 million GP. Nice. I was able to beat Sector 4 boss with Malik at 30% and everyone else at 1% stamina with Dread Disc. What other feats would that disc be good for? The Dread Disc?
I don't remember what it does.
Let me look at it real quick. Sorry, I just went blank.
I haven't got my 100 kills yet.
Wait a minute. What does that damn thing do again? Shit. Where can you use it? Let's see. Come on, stupid Conquest. All right. So it says at the start of each allied unit's turn, they inflict fear and plague on a random enemy for 2 turns. When fear expires, the enemy takes 25% max health damage. If an enemy is below 50% when fear expires, they are instantly defeated. You can use that on any of those feats that require you to get team
just
victories. Yeah, if you just need wins, then that's a great one to have. I wouldn't use it so much if you're trying to get kills because they're going to die, especially if you got thermals and stuff flying over the place.
Or like debuffs out there, like you're not going to get the purge very well if they're all dead.
No, so don't use that on those. The ones where you have to get like purge and kills, no. But the ones that you need like victories for just like 5 Old Republic characters or something like that. I'm just using that as an example. That's a phenomenal disc. Just have that disc on with some other stuff and just hit auto. Because they're gonna die horribly. That's a nasty disc. But yeah, you got to be careful with that. As OP as that is, it'll screw you if you try to do kills with that. Because looking at that disc, I haven't got it yet, so It's been a while since I've played around with that disc, so I had to look at it too, Calvin. But yeah, that thing's nasty, dude. I hadn't really looked at it hard as I should have. Ooh, that thing's nasty, man. Oh man.
Oh, it's just a combo. Like,
oh my
all right,
god,
I've got plague. I really need to heal. Oh, you can't take a turn.
You're,
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, and you're gone. You're dead. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh, Nightbot just being slow today. Well, we got a lot of people in the chat, which I appreciate. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Got like 90 people watching us. Come on, we can get that like button up a little bit higher. Come on, show us some love. Come on, don't you feel any pity? Calvin's here for one on a Saturday morning too. I'm gonna be outside all day, getting my ass kicked, moving giant bricks and bags of shit. Come on, show some pity. Hit the thumbs up. All right. Charlie Knife. I love this name. Knief. I just say Knife. It's wrong, but you know.
We could just settle and say English is wrong.
Yeah, I'm not good. I spoke horrible.
Knives and Ganats.
Yes, it's good. Question: do you think we will see an Old Republic GL in the June road ahead? I don't think Old Republic is where they're going with this, dude. Malgus, I don't know, man. I'm not getting Old Republic vibes for the next GL. It could be. I could be wrong. Maybe we get True Revan in my day finally comes, Calvin. I don't know. I mean,
I don't. I would lean against it. Like I said, right now, I know it might start to feel like we're heading towards Old Republic Galactic Legends because we just got 2 Old Republic characters, or Sith Empire, whatever they are.
One each, yeah.
Recently, that we haven't gotten years.
Yes.
But this is just kind of what CG is doing right now. They're trying to find these specific holes in the game that need filled to either bring characters up or just to make them useful. Like, we got Iden kind of out of nowhere because troopers needed help. We're getting Sortie now because the droids needed help. We're getting Malgus because Sith Empire, while they were still very useful, they could use a hand up. So I wouldn't read too much just into these 2 characters. I wouldn't be totally shocked if we got Old Republic GLs, but I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I just not getting those vibes because if
we got the 2 bombers as well that are from a different era. I mean, it's just they're just trying. It seems like they're more so trying to fill holes right now than they are trying to push an era.
Yeah, I mean, because if you look at what Malgus does, he just fits into the Sith Empire and makes it better.
That's so good, man.
So good. Sortie fits in with the droids, right? Just to make the other droids better, right? So I don't really get any. I'm not getting that vibe. I could be wrong. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be totally shocked, but I don't think that's where they're going.
No, I don't. I agree with you on that. All right, let me see here. The engineer question: when we get Malgus and 3v3 GSC, what team are you going to use to beat it? No GLs. 3v3
Star Killer.
Yeah, Star Killer would eat his lunch. What else could you use there? I'm trying to think.
So is he immune to max health damage?
I gotta look at his kit again.
I don't think he is, and he uses that a lot. I think there might be some variation. Again, it depends on what. I'm guessing you're not putting Darth Malgus with Malak in 3v3.
No, you want to probably. I would say the team would be Malgus, Revan, and Basti. You know, because he's already the tank. You can move Malak over to like a C team or something.
Yeah, so it doesn't get wamped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I would be curious to see if some variation of Padme could beat that.
Yeah. I mean,
because if they can't stop the courage from killing him, and he's like, I have like 500 times my normal max health, and she's like, great, now die.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a CLS team on that, because you would blast Basti off the map. Then it's just Revan and Malgus versus CLS Han Chewie.
I don't know if you kill her off the rip.
No, maybe you don't.
I don't.
You do.
I don't think
you don't want her bullshit. Yeah.
Because I don't think you're able to because of Malgus's mastery. She's going to be a lot tankier.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just trying to get to my head.
She's got a lot more defense.
How would Wampa do against that team?
I'd have to look more into what what's his face does because Darth, Revan, and Bastila can't kill him.
No. I don't think he can either.
I'd have to look at his kit to see if he has tenacity down or he's. I think some of his stuff is irresistible, which is going to cause issues.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. When we get there, we'll figure it out. I mean,
we should be figuring out him for 5v5 before 3v3.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Well, let's see. Next, we'll have this Conquest, which will be 3v3. The next one will be 5v5. We still won't have him. The next one will be 3v3.
It'll be 5v5 first, then.
Yeah. So yeah, before he
because we won't get him until after the 3rd.
Yeah. So maybe at the tail end of that GAC, we'll see Malgus popping in. We'll worry about it then, because right now there's a lot of. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff left up in the air on that. I gotta look at it more. I have not looked at it too hard yet because he's down the line. I haven't really thought about it, as much because like I've had other stuff I got on my brain right now. Dakota the Hunter says, question: to fix the issue of not enough Omicrons, instead of lowering the amount needed to apply a TW Omicron, add Omicrons to TW rewards. If they added, it's still, how many do they add? And does it offset how many you need still with 20 to get these characters on Omicron?
It would help if they did like a 1-2. Like if you lose one, you get one. If you win, you get 2.
Yeah, that could hurt. That couldn't hurt. I mean, it still need 20 though. I kind of like your idea a little bit better there, Calvin. Because you are right. TW, we do it 4 times a month. So I think a reduction of the cost of Omicrons. Yeah, makes sense. But they're not.
They could do with the other stuff too, like the Tuscan 3v3 Omicron. You get to use it half the amount of time, so it should be 10. TB, you could make the same argument that TB should be 7 as well, because you only get to use it for 4 phases in 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, either do that. I like Calvin idea, or just massively increase how many Omicrons we get. I think it's time. I mean, good Lord in heaven, this is getting ridiculous. Okay. Let's see here. What else? 73 question: likelihood one of the next 2 GLs they're going to announce in June will not be a Force user. Wouldn't that be something, man? A GL that's not a Force user? What do you think?
I think it's got to be high, just because they're running out of characters. Like there are only so many iconic characters in there that fit the Force user role. And granted, there's a lot of them. But for example, if we get a GL Leia and GL Jabba are kind of the 2 that I have in the front of my head right now.
Yeah.
And Leia is technically a Force user, but that's not her role in any of the movies. So I could see both of them not being so.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's high, actually. I think it's high that we get a GL that's not a Force user. I'd love to see it. I really would. I'd love to see, and I think it's overdue, man. We've needed a kind of a thank you, a remembrance to Carrie Fisher. Get General Leia in there and make her a GL for Rebels. I like Jabba too. I don't know how they're gonna fit his fat ass on there. He's a plumpy boy. I don't know. He may cover the whole screen, Calvin. I'm not sure.
His tail will be a summon. It'll just reach around to the corner. You have to have him in a certain position.
He has to go in the slot regardless. It won't work. Oh. I've heard that laugh before. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. His tail is a summon. Sorry, that just made me giggle. Let's see here. Bobby says, question: I'm trying to get the Geo feed in Conquest, and they are only gear 12. The issue: the enemy is either dying before I get the kills from detonators, or the Geos die. Any suggestions on disc? Disc are fine. You need to be doing the on that one, the Sector 4 boss. Just use the final boss there. That's where you want to attack them, because even with the thermals and stuff, even at your Geos are gear 12. I have Relic Geos. They go first. They do their attacks. You counterattack with Brute. Then you just go in order and just get your kills that way. That's how I got the feed. I did it yesterday and showed it there, Bobby. Even with gear 12 Geos, you'll be fine. Just go in there. And that's how I did it.
Just make sure you don't have both the thermals and volatile accelerator, because if you have both of them on, then they will just explode themselves before you get there. You can probably have one or the other.
Yeah.
But don't have both.
But yeah, that's the best one
counter,
to do.
they're going to get thermals. They're going to kill themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, just make sure that you do that fight specifically. Trust me, they don't hit hard enough. You'll be fine. That's the best.
No,
way
they
to
don't.
do it. No, you'll be fine, and you'll get the feat done. I average 5 to 6, because sometimes he revives if the kill order, right? If you kill him and then there's another one up, then he'll come back, and then you can get 6 instead of 5 on that. But it makes it quick. Darson 1972 question: when the heck are we getting new content? Characters aren't content, and I'm over the Omicrons. I don't even read the Omicron kits, as it just takes way too long to get them, even when I'm at the end game. I don't know. I don't know. They said they were supposed to be. Their definition of content is different than your definition of content, and everybody's got a different. It's kind of what you consider content. But if you mean like game modes itself, I mean, it kind of seems they were leaning towards some new stuff like this year, for this year, Calvin. I don't know, like, how your vibes are on this. I mean, I think we're going to get something content related into the game. What do you think? I don't know what that'll be, but
I mean, I don't want any more quote unquote content. Like, I don't really have enough time to do the amount of content we have currently in game. For me, characters are 100% content, because if anything that changes the GAC meta immediately changes the game for me.
Right.
But I know different people play the game. Different people play the game differently. The only thing that I would like to see is some type of guild PvE, because we haven't gotten that in years.
I think that's overdue.
If they do that, they need to start trashing some of this older stuff. Heroic Sith Raid needs to go to Sim.
Yes.
And there just needs to be some quality of life factors with the amount of chore work we still have in game.
Right.
Because I can't do another game mode. I can't do more content until they start making the outdated or older whatever content less time consuming.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? But I would love to see guild content come into the game, right? I think it is overdue. I agree. The guilds need some loving, man. They really do.
What it looks like they've done is they tried to have a renewed content. Like that's the whole point behind Conquest and GAC and arguably TW is they're all renewable content that they just have to maintain. They don't really have to make significant changes to.
Right.
And Guild PV doesn't have that. We're still stuck with old content that was supposed to last for a year or two and then get updated, but they haven't updated anything.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that they could do that's an easy thing is they could go Mythic on the Heroic AAT, but they need to make, as you said, Heroic Sith simmable, right? If they're going to do that. I don't want to see another territory battle. I'm over that. Territory battles. I really am. But some kind of fun, I don't know, event where, like, I think someone brought this up the other day, where it's like an event where all the guild works together on a node at a time, picking their teams that they want to use, and they just progress through this thing. Something along that line, where and you can make it like a week long, where just each day, just hey, real quick, go in here, do some battles, and then help us progress for this, for some nice rewards or things of that nature. Just something to give the guilds that are out there. Nothing that's going to be too strenuous. Something you can just do real quick each day. Real quick, you have a 24-hour period, so it gives everybody enough time to go there and do it. Knock out a battle with a certain team if you have it, and try to progress. Like, the more you can progress, the better rewards you'll get at the end of the event, that kind of thing. I think that would be kind of cool for the guilds to, nothing.
But something to have something to work towards as a team.
Yeah. I mean, that's always good to have some stuff like that. Whether they're going to do that or not, I have no idea. Hell, they said
casual's going to casual.
Yeah. So, we'll see. All right. A few more questions here, and then we can start wrapping it up, Calvin. Although I wish I could keep doing this the rest of the day. I can't. My hands outside. I'm going to be... Oh, boy. Let's see here. Dark sends this question. I'm out of relic salvage, and phase 2 of the gear crunch needs to be addressed urgently. I have a grind for the Inquisitor shards, gear, relic, salvage, etc. The grind has exceptionally increased. Oh yeah, Calvin, I don't know about you, but I'm beyond tapped out right now.
With me being so I started 2 years late, and I don't really feel the relic crunch much at all, just because I can't get the characters to year 13 to put the relics on.
Right.
So I have, as of today, I have not once ever had to farm relic salvage on a node. It's just not really reality for me.
Yeah, see, I'm in the opposite since I'm an old crusty turd that's been playing this game too long. I'm tapped. I mean, I feel you on that one, Darcian. I'm in the same position you are. I'm just looking at, and I just take it in steps. Like at this point, it's kind of like I did back in the day. I'm like, okay, I'm working on Inquisitors. First priority is stars, and then just working on gear and the nodes as they come along, and then taking them up in progressive states. So once I get them all to gear 12, then I'll start by one at a time, focusing on those pieces of gear. Like if I need furnaces, I'll just farm furnaces. You know, if I need Chirotex, I'll just farm Chirotex, you know, and then when I get the relics, it's like, all right, what do I need to salvage here? And then I'll, like, especially like for the lower salvage, like I'll go to 1C and farm the hell out of that for a couple days. It's just what you have to do. But I do agree. I'm a little myth on this one. We did have that big announcement of last year, Calvin, at the end of last year, right? In phase 1 of the gear, I give CG all the credit. I think it was a brilliant move. The Droidicas, the stun guns, the stun cuffs, and the dailies and stuff. I think that was a really good move. But we haven't got anything on phase 2 of the gear. Hell, we haven't even finished what they said they were gonna do for phase 1.
Yeah, they over communicated on that one. Like it was fine to have an internal roadmap of what they wanted to do with gear, but giving it to us and then because what they did, or at least what it seems like what they did, was they were going to make all the changes and they were going to what's the word? Analyze. They were going to analyze the data on, like, you know, how much money they lost versus how much money they made with the change between phases. And I think what they realized is after, you know, the first part of phase 1 is it just cost them a lot of money. So yeah. I think that's why what's getting delayed. I think it's still going to come because they promised it. It's going to come a lot later, and it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be as good as what we got for phase 1. So
yeah,
I think they over communicated on that one. They would have been better off just saying, "Hey, we're gonna open up the bottle like a little bit on this. Enjoy, have at it, and then, you know, people can ask for it and look forward to it in the future, but they don't have a promise to hold them to, and right now they do.
Yeah. Charlie says, question, when do you think CG will remove crystals from Fleet Arena and put better rewards in TW, or just change TW in general? I don't think they have nothing in the near future on this. I just don't see anything that for Fleet. Fleet's not even fully fleshed out yet. I don't even know if they're even thinking about moving crystals from Fleet right now, let alone moving it to TW.
I would just rather they throw it all into GAC, because the issue with TW is it doesn't have the same matchmaking system that GAC does, that kind of pulls, it pretty much consistently pulls that you're going to be somewhere in the, you know, 4 to 8 range. Like, it's going to even out. You're going to get the same amount of crystals. TW, there's no guarantee. You can lose like 4 before you get a cupcake one that you finally win.
Yeah.
So and the TW burnout is also really high. So putting even more rewards behind it right now, also not a great idea.
All right. Darcine 1972 question says, but Leia was a Force user. Didn't she help train Rey in episode 9? Yeah, but mainly if you look over the...
That's not her identity, though.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I mean, she did, but I mean...
She is a Force user, yes.
But, I mean, that's not what her main role through most of the movies and story and canon was. It was mainly Leia being Leia, man. I mean, go read the books. I mean, now, in the books, she does make the transition from... I mean, she was actually the...
She's full-blown Jedi.
Yeah, she goes
like Jedi Master.
Yeah, but that was later, right? After she had been the Chancellor of the New Republic, right? She was the president. You know, she was the leader. She did that first. Then she had kids. Then after all that stuff, you know, then she became a Jedi Master. She trained in the Force. She was always a military leader, a leader. You know, a government official before she did any of that stuff. But in the movies, even in the Rebels show and the stuff that they've done appearances with her, she's not been a Force user. She's been, but I do.
She's 100% a rebel.
Yeah, definitely a rebel, definitely a leader. She started off even in the new trilogy as General Leia. She went back to doing what she knew, and that's being a general. So, but I'd love to see that version than a Force Leia. I don't want to see Force Leia. Maybe we get
if they can give us,
they give a little bit of that, right?
Star Wars can give us where this is like her identity. She's being a Jedi. She's being an unaligned Force user. She's leading some type of pack. Then sure, but like I want a rebel Leia. And I think if they put Lucifer on her, all that's going to end up happening is it's going to be rebel cat Leia. Like that's what it's going to end up being.
Yeah. All right here. The real question, says Gap P. I'm sure Raging Cow have been waiting for. Who will win the FA Cup final, Liverpool or Chelsea? Oh, I have no idea.
I don't even know what that is.
It's soccer.
I'm assuming it's sports ball related.
The football, yes. I haven't really been keeping that well of track of yeah. I'll go with Liverpool. Ronan Zai says, question, SLK or Daka Zombie work great against GK Cat GK. Thanks again.
Cool.
Oh, there you go. See? We may be dumb, but we're dumb. Last couple questions here. Darsign 1972 question. What do you think about an Interguild TW?
I mean, if they don't want to put any rewards behind it and just have at that point, it's just a sandbox mode, though. Like, you go in and you get to test against your guildmates teams. You get to throw it in their face that you beat their Lord Vader with bounty hunters or whatever. I don't know if I would want it as like a legitimate game mode, but if they just want to be like, here, play with this, have fun.
I guess, yeah. I wouldn't be against it, so. Tumblo Dry question. Can we get a sim button for Conquest? Not in a very long time, my friend.
That's never happening.
Yeah, not for a while. I mean, it's not, I mean, we eventually got there in Galactic Wars, but I mean, that took years before we got that little.
And the content for Conquest is being constantly updated. It's never, their intention with it is for it should never be outdated and never be simmable.
Right. So it's not like GW or some of these other ones. So, no.
It would be like letting us sim Squad Arena back in the day. It was never going to happen.
Yeah. That's not happening, buddy. I know you would love to have it, but yeah. Okay. I think with that, I think that's the last question. It is the last question. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up because, as I said, I've got a long day of work ahead of me. And I know Calvin's busy too. Now, Calvin, you're going to be doing your GAC here soon, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'll be streaming at probably 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. I got to get things kind of ready for TW before that, so I'll be a little late there. But yeah, I'll be on for GAC. This is a cool match. If I win, I get to go to the finals. If I lose, I get a shot at End All Be All. So that'll be fun.
Oh, you get to face End All, huh? Wow.
Yeah, we're in the same bracket. I won my first one. He lost his first one. So for us to get matched up, he has to win his, and I have to lose mine. So it's kind of a win-win situation for me.
All right, that'll be worth it. I'm going to put Calvin's channel in the chat. If you've not followed Calvin, awesome. Then go check him out on Twitch. And you said 2:15 Eastern?
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so Eastern Standard Time. You can go check out Calvin. There's his channel over on Twitch. Yeah, so, we always put it in the descriptions and stuff like that, but YouTube being YouTube, man, Christ. But that's why we let these people pimp, because please do me a favor. Like Calvin and those another guests during the week that come on here, they come on their own time and their own schedule to be here to answer your questions. So the least you can do if you want to say thank you is, go to their channel. It's real simple. Go to their channel, hit the sub button, hit the thumbs up or whatever they're doing, and just say thanks for being here. And that's a great way to show these content creators that come here to answer these questions your support. Say thank you for being here and thank you for answering our questions. That's an easy way to support a content creator. So go check out Calvin's stuff and give him some love. And of course, here we always say hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Everything's linked in the description. I probably need to update it, but I'm too busy. I'll get to it eventually. I'm a one-man show right now. But if you need me for anything, the Discord's linked in the description. You're always welcome to message me at any time. As I always say, I may not respond right away, but I always take the time to respond because I think it's important. And so if you have any questions or anything you guys want to pose my way or just say hi, feel free. As I said, I may not respond immediately, but I will get to you and respond. So send me your stuff, and it is always appreciated. With that, I think we can wrap it up. So Calvin, enjoy your day. Good luck in GAC, my friend. I hope you can, and man, I hope you do face Endo. That would be an epic fight, dude. God,
I would love
him.
it.
Oh my God, that's so cool. So we'll see what happens. So with that, everyone have a great rest of your day. We love you guys, and